I know for the devil you were gonna do the
Oh yeah,
crossroads.
yeah. One more of those. One more of just for a character, and that is Crossroads. If I can find it. God, where are you?
Which for those of you who are watching our AI the Somnium files.
Okay, so that brings us to Ohya.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's the Devil Arcana.
Yeah, the Devil Arcana, very fittingly given to the journalist.
Yeah.
Ohya, you meet her kind of early, but don't get her confidant for a while. Ohya is a reporter, and like very much the stereotypical kind of, at least on the surface, seems like sleazy. Will do anything to get a scoop.
Definitely a beat reporter.
Yeah, like no real morals. Of course, that's just the first impression, but at the same time, you do exclusively meet with her in Crossroads, a bar in the red light district of Shinjuku, run by our very own Lala Escargot, who unfortunately will not be talked about in any tier list because she has no character portrait.
Yeah, but it's so the character archetype that we discussed in the Somnium file of Mama. It's the same tropes.
Yeah, cross dresser at a bar.
Like a kind of a safe place for people to
a very motherly character. Which Lala Escargot very much lives up to by very much making sure that Ohya doesn't let Ren have alcohol and that Ren gets home safely, and is kind of like, you shouldn't be in this part of Shinjuku, but like, you're at least safe when I can keep an eye on you.
Yeah, did your guide ever give you the opportunity to work there?
You have to for one of the Mementos missions.
Oh, okay. Then
because you have the information. But which she doesn't let you just serve any drinks because you're underage. But Ohya, you meet exclusively in the bar, where she is 9 times out of 10 wasted out of her mind, and the other one time out of 10, about 50% wasted.
Yeah.
You sometimes going so far is to literally drink all of the alcohol in the bar. Given her body weight is probably about 105 pounds, it's very impressive.
Yeah, she's like, her blood type is literally just like alcohol.
Her blood type is crap. What is alcohol's chemical content? Like, her blood is flammable, we'll say that. Yeah. Her blood type is C2H60.
Wow, that's for all our nerds out there.
Just pure ethanol.
Pure ethanol.
But yeah, no, she of course, so this means a lot of her character arc at first. She literally just seems like this sleazy, booze-obsessed reporter that just wants the easy job of getting all her stories handed to her by you. But really, you find out that she was originally, I think, an entertainment was her sector. No, she's moved to entertainment. I think it was politics.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, it was politics, because she had a partner that turns out her and this partner were looking into the mental shutdowns and tracked down Shido, and her partner, no, not actually killed, but possibly a fate worse than mentally broken.
Yeah, she got mental shut down,
but not to death. But she was in a psych ward.
Yeah.
And Ohya is trying to do anything it takes to try to get the truth out there, figure out what the truth is and expose it. And when I say anything it takes, I mean lying to her boss, saying she's not looking into this, she's just dating a 16-year-old boy, so she doesn't want the truth to know. I was like, you really reached a point when your lie to cover up is that, oh, I'm just dating a minor. Cool Name said he hates Ohya. She's how he found out he was gay. Okay.
That's fair.
Either way, Ohya may have, I want to say loose morals, but I don't think morals is a word she knows. But she has goals, and she does clearly care about people close to her. And she does, I mean, I wouldn't say she grows a lot over the course of the game, but she does get closer to her goal. And she does seem like more, she is revealed to be deeper of a character over the course of the game. I did like her because she was super sketchy, and I like the sketchy characters. But overall, I kind of feel like there wasn't enough of a change in her over the course of the game for me to feel like she grew as a person. And I kind of would probably put her in in B tier. It's hard for me to decide if I put her above or below Psy, because yeah, no, I'd put her slightly below. I like her, but like, I don't feel she was executed as well as she could have been.
I would say B tier for me as well, which puts her above Psy, just, you know, by mere merit of Psy being in C. But like, I would say Psy is like high C and Ohya's like low B. So, you know,
yeah,
they're close to where you would say I just would have them flipped.
Yeah, she does get kind of a little sketchier than a lot of the other adults in terms of the dating thing.
Yeah.
And not just because she's quick to pretend she's in a relationship, but like, even like, I remember like tier 10 or like rank 10 Confidant or something. I remember her wanting to like take you back to her place and stuff. And
no, she's very overtly wants to have intimate relations with a 16-year-old.
She was one of the few ones that I felt like it was pretty strongly implied that they
they consummate a relationship.
But yeah,
something about Ohya though is I don't remember exactly how, but her rewards between Vanilla and 5 were reworked to make them better in 5 than they were in 4. In base Vanilla 5 versus Royal.
Oh, I will say I
barely better in Royal.
Barely had to use her abilities.
Yeah, I don't think they're very useful, but I think they were better in Royal than they were in Vanilla. I remember that.
Okay.
But I don't remember how. So take that with a grain of salt.
Fair. Yeah, Cool Name. Hers were like making it so there's less of a punishment with the what is it? The palace's what's the level called? The percentage?
The security meter?
Yeah, that. It was all to make that easier. The security meter. No, Crossroads still is kind of jamming of a song, even if it's very. Okay, so let's see. For everybody else that's not a player character, I think I was going to do. Was this it? Sure, this one's fine. Is it? No, actually, what about... Yeah, this one, sure. Tokyo Daylight. So, let's see. We will kind of just go through them in the order of the list of the non-player ones. So, next is Kawakami.
Or Becky.
Yeah, Becky. So Kawakami. Ren is Kawakami's student and master.
I was gonna say, Kawakami definitely awoke some maid fetish within me that I didn't realize existed.
Yeah, I'm glad she worked for you.
Whether I'm the maid or not in this conversation is irrelevant. I'll let the audience decide that one.
Yeah, Kawakami. So Kawakami's Ren's teacher, one of Ren's teachers, and I will say that she definitely does have a character arc. She does, like Sojiro, start fairly aggressive towards Ren.
Like upset that like she has to be your teacher.
Yeah, it's like why do I have to be this kid's teacher? Like, and like keep saying like you better not get in any trouble. Like, I heard what you did.
Paperwork.
Like, and that's kind of how it stays until you get to start raising the ranks of her confidant, where
with Operation Maidwatch.
Operation Maidwatch, where Ren, Ryuji, and Mishima,
whatever his name is.
Well, mainly first Ren and Ryuji. Mainly Ryuji. Ryuji's like, yo, I heard about this service. We could order a maid. This is awesome. And Mishima's like, did somebody say maid?
Did somebody say phantom thieves? I mean maids?
And then Ren is just like, oh god, I can't let the two of these guys, kids, go off on their own and do this.
They only share half a brain cell together. Like, it is going to be a disaster.
I mean, I think the brain cell, unfortunately, mostly Mishima's.
Yeah,
but it's just one.
Unfortunately. Yeah, Mishima has the custody of it 90% of the time. He only gets it on weekends.
Every other weekend.
Yeah, every other weekend. And some of the major holidays.
One of them.
Yeah, one of them.
That one's Valentine's Day. But anyway.
Yeah, Valentine's. I was going to say Valentine's Day specifically.
But anyways, so they're like, let's go order a maid, but let's go do it in like some sketchy abandoned apartment.
Yeah, some abandoned, like the apartment below me is empty, and they keep their key under the rug. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Like, what are you having this maid do?
Yeah, like it's clean. There's nobody living in it.
Yeah,
like,
and
that
so
maid was gonna go into that room and is gonna be like, I'm gonna get murdered. Like that's what that maid was gonna do.
So they do that. They call the maid. Both Ryuji and Mishima are like, oh shit, actually, I don't want to be here. And they like
immediately chicken out and run into the
balcony,
back porch. Yeah.
And so the maid comes in to see only Ren, and to make matters worse, it's his teacher.
It's so funny. It's like, oh, you're pretty young. I always pick, I'm a father or whatever. I'm a dad. It's so funny.
I don't remember where I picked at this point. It might have been that.
Yeah, I think it's just funny. Yeah.
But yeah, she's very quickly like, okay, so like, this is weird. You're my student. You shouldn't be ordering this stuff. But I also like have to like do my job. So like,
yeah,
they're just like,
we canceled this one, but if you actually need like help cleaning or doing some random tasks, like you can hire me, but like let's not talk about it.
Yeah, and I don't want this talked about in school.
Yeah,
and
don't use your phone, like pop from a public phone, like it's like very specific.
Yep. And so that begins the weird escapades of, by day she's teaching you obscure facts, and by night she's coming to your house to like cook you microwave ramen or make lock-picking tools and not question it.
Or give you shiatsu massages.
That's when you're already like 10. So.
Yeah.
But like before you even reach the point that she obviously finds out who you are, rank 10, she's making you smoke bombs and lockpicks.
Yeah. Yeah, she would be the first person to be like, yo, excuse me?
Like, there must be some reason that Kawakami is not a college professor. But that being said, Kawakami did have a very heart-wrenching backstory where she taught at another school, and there was a kid there that was struggling with schools, so she tutored him, and he had way too many responsibilities because his parents were shitty, and I think we later found out they were abusing him too.
Yeah.
And so she tried to help them and couldn't, and the kid got overwhelmed and committed suicide. I think before that she did stop tutoring. She was like,
No.
You need help. What?
No, that's not.
He didn't commit suicide. He died in an accident, right?
No, he didn't commit suicide. He got run over.
Yeah, he died in an accident.
Yeah.
And his parents were like, "It's your fault. You stressed him out too much."
Mm-hmm.
And she tried to switch schools to escape it, but they just followed and were like, "Yeah, you have to pay us like reparation money for the rest of your life." And
she's like, "Yeah, checks out. I'm a scumbag, and anything I do is not going to be enough punishment to satisfy your ire of losing your son."
Yep. And that's why she works 2 jobs, and definitely not because just being a teacher is not enough of a living wage. But yeah, it sucks. You end up getting her the free of the situation, and then Ren, assuming you romance her, is like, "Yo, go out with me," and she's like, "What? That's messed up. I need to think about that. What the heck?"
Yeah, she's like, "We can let's continue being master and servant, if you know what I mean."
Yeah, that's at like rank 10. Hers is like the only one that if you choose to romance at rank 9, you're not in a relationship yet. Not until rank 10.
Yeah.
Because she's still trying to process it all, because her student / not employer, but like...
I think, yeah, kind of employer.
Yeah, it is... wants to date her. And I don't know, like, personally, the whole thing was about as unsettling as the adult relationships get for me. And I was personally in a situation where I was like, there's a power imbalance here, and I don't even know which way it goes anymore.
Right? Yeah, you lose track of where the power imbalance
like, I'm
lies.
like, well, she's his teacher, but he pays her for maid work. But she is older. But he seduced her. Like,
yeah,
I'm just like...
She just gets like an octave higher and higher every time.
Yeah. That being said, like, I do like her as a character. I thought she had a good story, as much as I just was unsettled by everything. Unfortunately, in my mind, only harem root exists, so I don't have platonic root with her. I don't know how that would have changed things, because I assume she still gives massages. But...
yeah, but they're platonic massages.
Platonic full body massages. Okay.
Platonic full body massages.
In the middle of the night. With her body. But, because I like the other aspects of her story, I will put her at a B. And she's still going below Ohya though. I'm sorry, Inheritance.
No, that's fair. Yeah. Are you opening the floor to me?
Yeah, you can gush about her.
Joke's on you, because I won't. No, actually, yeah, you know me. I will. Takemi.
Takemi
is.
Takemi.
Kawakami. Takemi is where I was gonna say. I'm looking at Takemi right now, but Kawakami is a very interesting situation for me for a lot of the reasons that ShadJV has mentioned. Right? it's just like, it's weird. The power imbalance is definitely weird, and it's one of those things where like it really makes you consider the relationship that you have in a ludonarrative way, in a diegetic way, as like, are you, when you're playing a game, are you playing as the character, or is the character just a conduit for you to experience the game yourself, right? Like, what kind of mental state do you put yourself in? Like, do you pretend you're Ren when you're playing Persona 5? Or are you the human playing the game and Ren is just your essentially looking glass into the world, right?
Yeah.
Like, that very important distinction to make when you're experiencing characters like Kawakami. Which is to say, right, obviously, like you said, like the whole power imbalance, like, is very sketchy if you're envisioning it as the game presents it, of like a child, student, and their teacher. But me as an adult in their 30s, or when I played the game right in my late 20s, don't dox me. You can gauge my, I guess, my age range. The time I played, did not play it as I was playing as Ren or Akira because I was playing vanilla. I was playing as myself in that universe, right? So for me, Kawakami was definitely a character that I related to very personally, given my choice of careers.
And given you got blackmailed for a student's death?
Yeah. Listen, we were supposed to talk about it. I'll give you the payment tomorrow. But I really saw in a lot of ways myself in Kawakami, which automatically, in my true narcissistic sense, made me like her a lot. I love Becky. I love her alter ego. Like I said, it awoke something within me that I didn't know existed. I think it's so fun to have like this like bubbly persona that's like a mask in and of itself of like your true like cynicism and like dejection over reality and the situation you find yourself in. And objectively, I would argue that Kawakami's rewards for her social link are the best in the game, like, without compare. Like, I think that her ability, especially obviously as you get higher and max it out, to get the massages that allow you to go out after going out to Mementos or Palace, is invaluable in allowing you to even do the other routes and the other social links as well. Yeah. So I initially I romanced somebody else, then I saw what the romance gives you, so I reloaded my final save from my original playthrough and beat it again to romance Kawakami, because the reward for romancing them is, and choosing them at the end, because like you get to choose one of them at the end to give you a gift. Yeah, is a item that lets any decision you make automatically advance the social link in the New Game Plus. So automatically every time, like in Vanilla, in Royal, romance Kawakami, because it makes future playthroughs easier, right? Because like the sooner I can get the free massages, the sooner I have more liberty to do whatever I want with my days, you know? Because it doesn't matter if I go out to Mementos, because then I can always just get the massage and then do whatever I was supposed to do that night, you know? Yeah. And her coffees and chilies and cup noodles and stuff all relate to the level that Ren can do them. So if Ren maxes out Sojiro's and gets the master curry, and you tell Kawakami to make curry, she's also going to make master curry.
Oh, that makes sense.
Super useful, right? I don't know why it doesn't make sense that your ability to cook something deliciously makes her cook it deliciously. But that's how it works, and I'm not going to complain about it. So yeah, objectively, this is again one of those things where, as a confidant, her rewards boost her up to S for me. As a person, I also would probably rank her as, if we're like we're disconnecting Ludo narratively, and I'm looking at it as I'm the person embodying the world, not Ren. If I was Ren, or playing as if Ren was my avatar, but like the decisions I made were in the headspace of a 16-year-old, it wouldn't be an S rank because it's not cool. It would probably be like low A or B. But as me, Inheritance, S rank.
Yeah, in terms of that whole, are you playing as the character or are you playing as yourself through the character? I do have to specify that it was the former for me, because otherwise I could not mentally cope with doing harem route if I was thinking of that as me.
No, yeah, that's fair. I'm kind of a sociopath, so, we'll leave it at that.
Okay. Well, now time to go to the arcade for Shinya.
Get smoked!
The Confidant we joked earlier of the one that Sai is like, who taught you how to handle guns? We were like, oh, an 8-year-old. Shinya is actually one of the latest Confidants I believe you can start. Like months late. Super late. He's an 8-year-old kid who's really good at arcade games. You get him by doing this Mementos mission with a guy that's cheating at the video games. And you need to find a way to beat the cheater, and so you have to go track down this 8-year-old. And you meet him, and you only can get him to help you after you convince him that you, in some capacity, can contact the Phantom Thieves, because he looks up to them. And then he teaches you video games. It turns out to be super foul-mouthed and abrasive when he's teaching, or when he's playing games. And also you quickly find out that he's kind of shitty to the other kids, manipulating them into playing matches against him for like their lunch money and stuff. Which he tries to justify by it being his mother teaching him about like that winning is all that matters and stuff. And sooner or later find out that his mother needs a change of heart, and he ends up in the long run having a character growth where he realizes he becomes self-aware that what he's doing was wrong. He contacts those kids himself, apologizes to them, agrees to pay them back however long it takes for him to get the money to pay them back, acknowledges they have no response, like they have no obligation to accept his apology, and they decide that they want him to teach them how to play the games, and he makes some friends. And then he also ends up beating this cheater using totally legit ways because of his confidence, I guess. Either way, I honestly think this kid has one of the best turnarounds in his character. Some of the biggest character growth, because Shinya, after you get for a couple ranks of him and start to get to know him, he's a little shit. Like he's absolutely he's a kid, and so I can't be like he's scum of the earth. He's a kid, but he's a shitty little kid, and he grows a ton. And for him to not only apologize and agree to try to make amends for these kids, he acknowledges that they don't owe him forgiveness, something that most adults can't seem to grasp. And I really appreciate that turnaround, as much as I made fun of him a lot when I was like, oh, I'm learning my gun skills from a kid, I like him as a confidant. I think he is one of the best written confidants in the games in terms of character growth. And once again, he's 8. Like, it's kind of impressive that they did that. I'm not sure it's super believable. I don't know if an 8-year-old can understand all those concepts, but maybe 8-year-olds smarter than you give credit for. I would put him on A rank. Probably above the twins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would probably put him at A rank as well. It's hard for me to separate his specific experience. Also, he's a Tower Arcana, by the way.
Yeah, Tower.
From other... Did I say Kawakami? She's Temperance.
Yeah.
From other similar leitmotifs that of the child that doesn't know how to engage his parents and stuff like that for whatever reason. But I do think he's good. I think his skills are really good, and I would also place him in A rank, but below the twin. Although his skills are better than what the twins give you, I like the twins more.
That's fair. I do have to say, when I went through the conversations, his ranks, the one thing that just kept feeling a little uncomfortable to me was the reverse of most of the adult romances of me being like, Ren, you really shouldn't just be like hanging out with an 8-year-old you have no relation to. This is kind of messed up.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But like, I get it. Like at the end, I think he actually calls Ren Big Brother. That, or Ren calls himself the Big Brother. I don't know. And I think it's supposed to be kind of that relationship, a brotherly relationship, which also is something otherwise kind of lacking in the game. So that's kind of nice. So yeah, it's a character that Ren is supposed to be the role model. So yeah, anything else to say, or we go on?
No, I'm good.
Okay, Hifumi. So
Hifumi Togo.
Hifumi Togo, my love, my second love.
Yeah.
That was the character that made me be like, I actually like this character more than Takemi in terms of romanceable.
Yeah.
Romancination. Romanceableness.
I like romancination.
Sure.
Real quick, before we go too much, she's Star Arcana, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, she is Star Arcana.
And I mentioned this to you outside of the stream, but it was actually slated to be a playable character in the original, but they ended up splitting her role between 2 other party members that we'll get to eventually. The skills to one party member and then the plot to the other.
Okay.
Just wanted to add that.
Hifumi was a you first hear about her from Yusuke, I believe. That there's this shogi player that's supposed to be the most beautiful shogi player in Japan or something. Which I'm like, okay, what is that? Why does her looks have to matter there? Like,
yeah.
But you meet her, and she's, I think, pretty much an undefeated shogi player when you meet her. Which she hangs out at the chapel because she doesn't get bothered there, and there's I think they give a few reasons why she hangs out at the chapel.
Mm-hmm.
But you go to her and ask for her help learning shogi because strategy in one thing means strategy in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's how it works.
And you quickly...
Slams hands on desk. Somebody taught you how to be an expert criminal. It's like, no, somebody taught me how to play chess.
Yeah, but she at first doesn't want to teach you because she's just like, wow, what do I get out of this? Why should I have to teach somebody how to play shogi? But she ends up like seeing Ren's potential and decides it'd be helpful. Well, actually, Ren first lies and says that he knows how to play shogi, and then she obliterates him and is like, you don't even know how to play shogi. Like, you don't know the rules. Which, I've never played shogi IRL. I don't know the rules IRL. In my understanding, it's like chess complexity.
Yeah.
And like, so you can't just go into that not knowing how to do it. Chess is...
Yeah, like, there definitely, it would be very difficult to even know how to move pieces if you don't know how to play the game.
Yeah, so knowing that, probably from the first move, she was like, this kid doesn't know how to play shogi. Yeah. So she agrees, she sees some potential though, and agrees to do it. In return, she gets to like practice new moves and strategies on him. And you quickly learn her quirk is that she imagines she is the queen of the kingdom that she's playing shogi in. And she imagines it is a huge fantasy battle, like coming up with like intricate attack names and stuff, like she's some shonen anime character.
Such a vibe.
And that was precisely the moment that I kind of like fell for this character, because she is a very quiet, subdued character until she's on the shogi board, and then she is over the top and aggressive. Mm-hmm. And I like that dichotomy. Over her character arc, you learn that her mother's kind of shitty, but then again, everybody's mother in Persona's kind of shitty. Unless their father's shitty, or both. Everyone has at least one shitty parent in Persona. But her dad's in like, they didn't say in the hospital. Her dad is like in bedridden. Bedridden is the word they use. And her mother has to essentially be the breadwinner and gave up her dream jobs for that. Her dream job. Dream career. And pushed Hifumi to be a shogi player to try to like help with their family's bills and crap, but like pushed her to model a lot for it and more be a shogi idol.
Yeah.
Which she does not like because she just wants to play shogi. And in like the climax of her story arc, she learns that all of her matches were rigged, that her mom got them all rigged, and she has never won a match of her own merit. And she confesses to the world because she does not want to be known like that, despite now having a reputation as a huge cheater, and works back up from the ground up. By the end of the game, she is going into her 10th undefeated match after having come clean, which is impressive. It means she had the shogi skills. She was never given the chance to use them. It's also a little unrealistic because if all your matches were rigged, you probably wouldn't actually have the skills to win tournaments and stuff without a lot of practice after. But either way, she's a character with like strong morals in addition to her other quirks. And she's overall, I think a very fun character. You could really see how she was going to be a playable character with how much she was in the type of situation there. She was screwed over by shitty adults, as we'll find out the cast all are. And she used that not to let herself get destroyed, but to empower herself to change. Maybe not change the world like the other characters, but she didn't have a persona. She would have been a really, really great playable character, I think. And I also did go on the I did the Christmas date with her, and that was super cute. And I have to put her S rank because I did want to romance her over Takemi, so she has to go above Takemi logically. Okay.
I would place Hifumi A rank above the twins because I like her personality a lot and I like her story a lot and I like her skills that she gives you.
Oh yeah, she does great skills.
She has very, very good skills that make combat very much more bearable, which is always appreciated.
I forgot to mention I also love the thing in her hair. I don't know what that's called.
Yeah, actually, I have one of those. It's like a charm. I have them. I think it's downstairs.
Makes sense. I believe she was shown to be superstitious in other parts of the story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Next we have Mishima. Okay. Next we have. Oh, fine. Fine, we'll do Mishima. Mishima is a character in Persona 5.
Next.
he does stuff in the story that's ultimately, at best, kind of shitty. Okay, but seriously, you first meet him in the first story arc. He's a fellow classmate who is on the volleyball team being abused by the abusive gym teacher that's like the boss. And when you liberate them, he ends up he puts two and two together on your identities as a Phantom Thief and becomes some huge fan. I think he said he used to be into some a hacktivist group, which I assume was crap, what's the name of it? Inheritance.
The Wadjet?
What? Medjit. Medjid. I assume he was in a Medjid. They only say offhand once he says that he used to be really into a hacktivist group that ended up being posers.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not 100% sure. That's definitely, especially with Mishima. I did not internalize enough about who he is to even want to commit any of that to long-term memory.
Oh, I committed it into long-term memory for this one sole reason, I'll say, because he mentioned he was into this hacktivist group and that they turned out to be posers. So he kind of abandoned his support for them, and now he's supporting you. And so I was like, are you just going to do the same thing with me at some point when you don't like what I do? And are you going to turn on our group?
100%.
And so that is why I internalized that bit, because I thought that was him setting up for him to betray me.
Yeah, Mishima does not care. He goes and sinks himself like a remora to the biggest fish he can.
Yeah, Mishima really likes to play the victim a lot and use it for his own benefit.
I mean, and it's unfortunate that he really was victimized at the beginning of the game, right?
And before the beginning of the game, because it revealed he was bullied before. He was, I think, victimized. It's implied pretty much his whole life he's been victimized.
Yeah, and then the whole thing with the Phantom Thief happens, and now suddenly he's hanging on campus.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. As soon as he gets something that he feels puts him better than others in a way, he really tries to take advantage of that. He comes up with the fan site that you use through the whole game, and the poll system and everything, which ultimately get all used against you, so that's kind of shitty. But he does all of that and then starts like taking donations from them and uses them to go to a buffet, and then halfway through is like, yeah, this is shitty, I'll give it back. And then like uses his position to like get dates, and then they don't work out. And he just like keeps pulling this shit and keeps trying to like get personal benefit out of everything and act like it's his reward for everything he's done, which isn't really much.
Yeah, and then even like
towards
the end, I don't know if you're gonna get into it, but like even like when you decide to change his heart.
Oh, I was gonna get into that.
Okay,
it all comes to a climax when he ends up getting like shittier than ever and being like, I'm the whole reason the Phantom Thieves exist and crap like that. And so you guys are like, yeah, oh yeah, and I think he does something else that's, you're like, oh, we need to change his heart.
Yeah, like he definitely has a shadow, and if we don't address it, it's gonna become a problem.
Yeah, he's gonna get a palace. And then we go into Mementos to deal with him, and he's just like, oh look, it's the Phantom Thieves. You're here to change my heart, and they're just like, do it yourself. Walk away. And he's just like, what the heck? You were supposed to change my heart.
I spit on your feet.
And like the absolute like shit covered cherry on this awful cake is at the very end of all his arc, he's just like, isn't it so great that the Phantom Thieves that you guys changed my heart? And I was just straight up like, I didn't change your heart. And he's like, what? No, you did. Haha, you must have. And I'm just like, Mishima, if I had any option to not interact with this entire game, I would have stopped in like May.
Yeah. Mishima is so bad. Like he's a rough character. He doesn't feel like he grows very much in any capacity.
He feels like he takes a couple steps, like one step forward every so often, but then 2 steps back.
Yeah.
By the end of the game, I don't feel like he grew.
Like he improved a little bit, but like truly, yeah. Like I don't think in any long-term way, like a lot of the other characters that like have a meaningful growth in their lives.
I mean, his end game conversation was him being like, I'm gonna get a book published about the Phantom Thieves, and I'm like,
yeah, it's like, dude, just
you're still trying to market it. I'm sorry, F. I don't love them. He has a few moments here and there that I don't despise him, and a few moments where I do feel legitimately bad for him.
Yeah.
But in terms of, I'm pretty sure he's the lowest possible character I could put in this list. So
100% agreed. 100%. And I'm tempted to change F tier to just Mishima tier, because like I don't think anybody else will be there.
Yeah. Well, now we have oh crap, what is his name? Politician.
Sun.
Sun is not his name. That is Arcana.
It's Toranosuke Yoshida.
Oh yeah, no good Tora.
Good Tora.
So at some point in time, Ren is like, yo, I need to learn how to like make deals with demons better. And it's like, oh, a politician. A politician, exactly the type of person that knows how to make deals with demons better.
I know exactly how to do that. First, I get a job at a ramen shop. Second, I work at the ramen shop multiple times.
Oh yeah, I got
hoping that he shows up. Third, I do a good enough job that he thinks I'm a hard worker.
Yeah, you did kind of miss the whole that first you go to him and are like, hey, take me as assistant. And he's like, I can't do that with minors. And then you're like, I'll hang around the ramen shop till he acknowledges me. And after that, he's like, okay, you know what? I'll do it for you, even though I can't do it with minors.
Yeah, as long as you don't like handle any money, I guess you could help me out.
Yeah, basically you kind of learn over his thing that he did some shitty things in the past and trying to atone for it, and like cope by becoming a the liberals and their conspiracies and all that stuff, and
he made some bad decisions, and so he's trying to atone for them by being a better politician, but
by being
not
liberal.
as popular because of it.
I'm not saying that as a negative thing. Like legitimately,
no.
It's all about the youth, people like being like mistreated, overworked, like.
Yeah.
He stands for strong Democrats and liberal. I guess they have liberal though. That's a term that's universal.
I would assume so. Yeah. Very youth focused, like you said.
Which they make very clear in the game that his stance is not that upheld by most of the Japanese diet.
Yeah. The diet is the government.
Yeah, I was gonna clear that up for anybody who doesn't know.
I was gonna say it's not like I didn't know until very recently.
Oh, you didn't?
Well, I mean, I knew obviously going into the Atlas games, but like the first couple of games I played from them, I'm like, what is this diet? Like, why does Japan have a diet building? And then I had to look it up, and I was like, oh.
I mean, I don't think I knew before the game, but the first time they said diet, I was like, okay, this word doesn't make sense in the context I know it, so I'm Googling it immediately.
Well, the Devil Survivor games, the diet building plays like a key role in it. So I had to look it up because I'm like, why is there a building dedicated to dieting?
But either way, he ends up, old acquaintances make contact with him, kind of wanting to use him for their own political means to try to like defeat, like slander the opponents, and end up giving him the chance to expose the people in his past that like pinned all the awful conspiracies on him. And he decides to throw away that chance to like hype up the Phantom Thieves, and they're like, wow, the heck was that? But we're gonna like try to get you reinstated anyways. And then it all ends with him giving Ren his pen that he got when he had his shitty time as a politician and didn't use the pen.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Here's this pen.
I was like, what? This seems like a negative gift. How are you giving me this?
Yeah.
But
yeah, it definitely feels like he's like removing, like he's like offloading his trauma onto you. He's like, it's your problem now.
Kinda. I don't like dislike No Good Tora.
I like Tora.
I mean, I'm not big at. Part of it's just the politician. Like, it's hard for me to like get attached to a politician in the game.
Yeah,
it's hard for me to get attached to a politician in real life. So
sure.
And like ultimately, a lot of, I wish they showed him doing something more like activist.
Yeah.
Because almost exclusively, pretty much, they just show him giving speeches and then going to fancy places for meals. And I felt like you're not actually doing anything. You're saying pretty words. But also a lot of his speeches are essentially like, you guys all have the power to make a change. It's all you. And I'm like, okay, but why are we electing you? What are you going to do? Like, so I don't know. I acknowledge that you do like him. I think I would put him as the first one in C tier for me.
Yeah, I mean, I like him. I don't like him that much, but I like him because of reasons that you and I have both discussed in and out of our own personal lives.
Yeah.
There's a person in my life that definitely gives out very similar vibes for better or worse.
I'll be sure to give them the nickname No Good Tora from now on.
Yeah, they're going to be very confused. But I think that engenders me more to them more than the actual character, which is kind of a cop-out because that's not fair to judge him, right? So, like, looking outside of that, I wouldn't rank him F tier because, like, truly he's not nearly as bad as Mishima. But I mean, his skills can be good, like especially for my type of playthrough, because I love fusing personas. It's like one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
So having a way to just easily recruit a bunch of fodder personas to then go back to the Velvet Room and like just play around with different combinations is very useful to me specifically.
Yeah.
But I would do D below Igor, because like he's still not great, but like specifically for me, he works in a couple of different levels that you know, might for everybody else.
Yeah. For context, I put him above Igor because, as I said, didn't feel Igor had any character arc there, and at least Tora kind of had one.
Oh, you're right. I agree. I think I would do the same and bring him up to low C, below Sai.